Welcome to Donald's Digest, number 1. Reflections on God and the Bible in 4 minutes or less. The question today is about faith, hope, and love. In 1 Corinthians 13, faith, hope, and love are said to be the 3 things that endure. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Well, if they are that central, then why are they not steps? In the book that I've made, Lose the Losers and Thrive, How to Succeed When No One Wants You to But Jesus. This book prescribes 5 steps that make up your path of discipleship, your walk with Christ. And they apply to everyone. And they are following, dying, growing, serving, and enjoying. But why not faith, hope, and love? Well, the reason is, in my mind, that faith, hope, and love are not really steps, but that you can find faith, hope, and love in all the 5 steps that I've mentioned. Because faith, hope, and love are eternal, and they're everywhere in the life of a person that is being filled with the Spirit of God. Because things like tongues will cease, knowledge will pass away, but faith, hope, and love, these will endure. That's exciting. They're part of your eternal nature. And so they show up when you make important spiritual steps in your life, such as following. When you follow God, well, that takes a certain amount of faith that God's going to take care of you. Following God requires a certain degree of hope that you're going to be better off in the future with God and in the world because of following God. That's hope. And following God even takes a certain degree of love toward God. We have to love God at least enough to cancel out the natural suspicion that we have with God early in our lives. And so following takes faith, hope, and love. And it's the same with dying. Certainly requires a certain hope that the cost of giving up something that was precious to us will be more than compensated by some kind of advance and blessing in the future. Growing is entirely involved with loving God and with an increase in faith in God. And serving, you really are not able to serve adequately until the love of God has been poured into your heart and you have experienced what I call the love that is greater than all other loves. And when you've experienced that, then you have a love to give and you have a motivation to share in an entirely new way. So faith, hope, and love are involved in these steps. And certainly in the 5th step, enjoying. Your enjoyment is magnified by your faith. And when you get to this point in your walk with Christ, the hope aspect becomes different than human hope. Christian hope has an element of certainty that gives you joy. You know that you know God. You know that the future is bright for you, and you want that for other people. That naturally increases and magnifies your joy. And finally, love, and to have experienced God's love and being able to occasionally effectively share it with other people will give you a joy that you've never had before. And so you see, the 5 steps are human steps that are necessary in the context of our life and our growth with Christ and the triumphant nature of our existence because of God's grace. But to faith and hope and love, they are growing throughout the steps, and they will go on with us into eternity. So if you have other ideas, other comments, other questions, I might deal with them in future episodes of Donald's Digest. So share with me what you think and what you feel and what God is talking to you about. Thanks.